नमस्ते एवरीवन। आज हम बात करेंगे पतंजलि योग सूत्र के चैप्टर नंबर 2 में 19वें श्लोक पर। चैप्टर नंबर 2 एंड सूत्र नंबर 19। विशेष अविशेष लिंग मात्रा अलिंगानी गुण परवाणी। सूत्र नंबर 18 में हमने बहुत गहराइयों से बात की पुरुष और प्रकृति की। ऋषि पतंजलि has explained this sutra in more detailed way, and here he is talking about the meeting point of Samkhya and Yoga system. Samkhya believes that Purush is the most important, because the experience of Prakriti is only for the upliftment and upvarga of Purusha. जो दृश्यम की हमने बात की, 3 गुणों की बात की, ये प्रकृति क्यों दी गई है? जब हम कहते हैं कि पुरुष इज नॉन डूअर, पुरुष इज अव्यक्त, तो ये व्यक्त प्रकृति की क्या जरूरत है? तो यहाँ पर बात आती है कि पुरुष सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है और वहीं पर पुरुष के अपलिफ्टमेंट की बात आती है। अपलिफ्टमेंट कब पॉसिबल है? व्हेन द सोल और द पुरुष go through all the pain and pleasures of life, all the experience of life, and after having all the experiences, Purusha uplifts, rise above and liberate. So that is the purpose of Prakriti here. That is the purpose of Drishyam here. Now let's understand how this Samkhya chart bifurcates. So Samkhya believes in Purusha and Prakriti and 23 evolutes of Prakriti. यहाँ पर हम बात करेंगे 23 तत्वों की। Prakriti is further bifurcating into 23 evolutes or 23 tattvas. And now let's understand how does it moves. Purusha is the most subtlest, most unmanifested one. And here Samkhya progress from most subtlest to gross. Now first element after Prakriti is Buddhi, the intellect. And from Buddhi, Ahankar bonds. सबसे पहला प्रकृति का इवॉल्यूट है बुद्धि, और बुद्धि में से जन्म लेता है अहंकार। अहंकार यानी आईनेस एंड ईगो। एंड फ्रॉम अहंकार the 5 tanmatras and 5 mahabhutas they generate. So these tanmatras are the most subtle element. All the 5 panch mahabhutas are the grossest one and 5 tanmatras are the subtlest one. हम जानते हैं कि 5 महाभूत, जिसको हम कई बार हमने सुना है कि यत पिंडे तत् ब्रह्मांडे, जो हमारे शरीर में है वही ब्रह्मांड में है। और आगे के सूत्र में भी हमने बहुत अच्छे से बात की कि कौन से 5 तत्व है। तो पृथ्वी, जल, अग्नि, वायु और आकाश, ये 5 तत्वों से के और सटल एलिमेंट ना, और सटल एलिमेंट मीन्स, लेट मी गिव यू वन एग्जाम्पल हाउ वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड तन्मात्रास। अगर हम शक्कर की बात करें, तो शक्कर जो है वो है ग्रॉस एलिमेंट। और शक्कर का गुण क्या है? तो शक्कर के अंदर जो मिठास है वह है उसका गुण। सो द तन्मात्रास आर द सटलेस्ट, फाइनेस्ट क्वालिटी ऑफ ग्रॉस एलिमेंट। ओके, जस्ट लाइक दैट we know that sugar is sweet, right? So sweetness is the quality of sugar, and just like that sweetness is tanmatra for sugar. If we say sugar is the element, so sweetness is the tanmatra. And the second bifurcation from ahankar is manas. And from manas there are 5 karmendriyas and 5 gyanendriyas they come. And these all the indriyas are under manas. And these manas is we can also call intuition. 11 indriyas they come from manas, so it is called as indriya desh. Manas controls all these indriyas. Manas is the most internal one and all the indriyas are the most external one. From indriyas they gain all the experiences from the external world, so that they are the most external one and manas is most internal one. So we are going from internal, the subtlest one, to external, the gross one. Let's understand the chart. Here, Purusha is the most important. Then comes the Prakriti. From Prakriti comes the Buddhi, the intellect. And from intellect comes the Ahankar. और इंटेलेक्ट से जन्मता है अहंकार. और अहंकार फिर से 2 चीज़ों में विभाजन होता है. एक है मनस और दूसरा है तन्मात्रास. जो 5 तन्मात्रास है वो अहंकार से जन्मती है और 5 तन्मात्रास के ग्रॉस एलिमेंट्स जो है वो पंचभूतास. 5 tanmatras and 5 bhutas. 5 tanmatras are the most subtlest elements and 5 bhutas are most gross. And here we have already talked about manas, the indriyadesh, and from this indriyadesh 5 gyanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas they come. So sum total of all these is 23 evolutes of Prakriti. Now the question comes, why Purusha has to see the show of Prakriti when it is already liberated and when that is the most powerful thing? So why that is needed or why it is necessary? So here comes the bondage of karmas. Every soul or every Purusha has individual their own karmic bondage, and for that, to liberate from that karmic bondage, it has to go and it has to experience all the pain and pleasures of life, and so that it has to see the show of Prakriti and go through again and again all the experiences which gives pain and pleasure. Now Purusha is just like a sun. हम अगर बात करें कि गैलेक्सी में बहुत सारे स्टार्स हैं, है ना, जो नवग्रह है और उसका सबसे बड़ा स्टार जो है वो सूर्य देव है. यही सूर्य की लाइट्स सारे ग्रहों को प्रकाशित करती है. इसी तरह जो पुरुष अपनी लाइट बुद्धि पर फेंकता है, नो, पुरुष is throwing light on chitta, on buddhi. And that is why the Purusha can see what is happening. Our own karmas are responsible for whatever experiences we get in our life. But the purpose is same, to learn, experience and rise above and liberate. Yoga system believes in Purusha Vishesha. Now this was about Samkhya system, right? And we are talking about meeting point of Samkhya and Yoga system, right? So let's talk about Yoga system, what Yoga says about Purusha. Rishi Patanjali has explained beautifully in Sutra number 24 of chapter number 1. Chapter number 1 के सूत्र नंबर 24 में ऋषि पतंजलि ने बहुत ही अच्छे से पुरुष विशेष का वर्णन किया है. जब हमने बात की थी क्लेशों की, क्लेश कर्म विपाक आशयर अपरामृष्ट पुरुष विशेष ईश्वर ना। पुरुष विशेष क्या है? पुरुष विशेष वो है जो कर्मों से परे है, क्लेशों से परे है और त्रिविपाक जो जाति आयु भोग है उससे भी परे है, उसको पुरुष विशेष कहते हैं। और योगा बिलीव्स इन दैट पुरुष विशेष comes first, then पुरुष विशेष comes first, then purusha, then prakriti, and all 23 evolves. And that purusha vishesha which is never born, never died, and which is eternally present. Now let's understand what yoga system says about bhutas. So yoga believes that each tattva has so much of varieties, and in every tattva there is all gunas are present. Let's talk about Jala tattva. So in Jala tattva, so when we talk about Jala tattva, so water and buttermilk is the purest form, purest sattvic form of Jala tattva. And Rajasic form, when we talk, so all the stimulants which is tea, coffee, then all the aerated drinks which stimulates the nervous system, they comes under Rajasic Jala tattva. And Tamasic Jala tattva means alcohol which gives dullness, a heaviness, darkness, that is Tamasic Jala tattva. So all the tattvas has so much varieties which is presented by Prakriti, and all the different varieties gives us different experience to learn and rise above. Same like in food also we see lots of varieties in all the dishes and all the varieties. So each element has so much varieties, and always we are lost in these varieties of bhutas. But the yogi will always see the element as element and never lost in the varieties of it. If we see sunset every day, and there are different forms of sunset also, but yogi will always see that fire element in that sunset every day. A lot of varieties in bhutas and a lot of varieties in indriyas too. Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas. So these bhutas are classified as Visheshas. All the indriyas, that is Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas and bhutas are classified as Visheshas, the most specific ones which we can see and experience. The diversity in these bhutas is so much attractive to human minds, so that they are lost. We are lost in this diversity. ये सारे तत्वों में इतनी सारी विशेषता, इतनी सारी वेराइटीज है कि हम पूरा लाइफ टाइम यही एक्सपीरियंस करते करते निकल जाता है. And we even don't realize that we have spent so much of time and energy of just experiencing this bhutas and experiencing these varieties of the life which presents by Prakriti. We waste lifetime in experiencing these different varieties of bhutas. Just these bhutas in their different forms. So all these Visheshas are having one thing in common, that is gunas. Gunas will be always present because they are part of Prakriti. These Visheshas are the manifested form of Prakriti. Visheshas की जो बात करते हैं हम, the most lower in the chart of Samkhya, that 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas and Panch Mahabhutas. They are manifested forms of Prakriti. ये व्यक्त स्वरूप है प्रकृति का. Right from the bhutas, two indriyas, all is Prakriti. And with the same indriyas, we experience the variation in gunas. यही इंद्रियों से हम ये जो डाइवर्सिटी है गुनास की, उसको भी हम एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं. Diversities in gunas means, as I said before, जल तत्व के सात्विक, राजसिक, तामसिक सारे अलग अलग फॉर्म्स और वेराइटीज है. यही बात ऋषि पतंजलि कर रहे हैं. सारे तत्वों में हर एक गुना is present there. So manas has two functions, vikalpa and sankalpa. Now vikalpa means to make choices and sankalpa is to make resolves. Now above the Visheshas, there will be Avisheshas, and that is Ahankar and Tanmatras. So Ahankar and Tanmatras, they come into Avisheshas. These elements, they don't show any varieties. They are unclassified ones. है ना, हम अहंकार में और तन्मात्रास में ज़्यादा varieties नहीं है, because they are unclassified. They are avyakta. Because they are subtle element. So they are unclassified. But the gunas are always there because they are the part of Prakriti. So let's understand how all the three gunas are present in this subtle element also. If we are saying ahankar, so ahankar also can be of different varieties, like sattvic ego, rajasic ego and tamasic ego. So when we are talking about sattvic ego, so sattvic ego means humbleness. Many people, they are very humble and polite. So all the humility is sattvic ego. Then with power, anything comes with power, so that is rajasic ego. And all the people, poor me and very sad and depressed, so that is tamasic ego. So dullness is tamasic ego. Sadist, they are tamasic ego. So above avisheshas, there comes the linga matra or buddhi. So buddhi or intellect is asmita matra or linga matra. So what is the role of buddhi here? So buddhi is the instrument through which the yogi will ultimately realize the distinction between Purusha and Prakriti. Intellect always discriminate, है ना. जब हम किसी चीज को भी हमको पसंद होती है या तो ना पसंद होती है, तो ये काम बुद्धि का है कि बुद्धि can discriminate which is good and which is not good, or what is right and what is wrong. So ultimately through this buddhi, through this linga matra, we can understand or we can realize the distinction between Purusha and Prakriti. ये बुद्धि से ही पता चलता है कि ये जो भी प्रकृति, जो भी हम सीनरी जो देखते हैं, वो मैं नहीं हूँ. मैं देखने वाला हूँ. ये मैं नहीं हूँ, मैं देखने वाला हूँ. मैं पुरुष हूँ, मैं आत्मा हूँ. ये प्रकृति है, ये दृश्य है. मैं और दृश्य ये दोनों अलग है. ये चीज का डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बुद्धि से आता है. दिस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कम्स विथ बुद्धि, विथ इंटेलेक्ट. और जब ये ही इंटेलेक्ट, जब ये बुद्धि बहुत ही क्लियर हो जाए, कंफ्यूजन फ्री हो जाए, तब जाके बहुत ही ज्यादा क्लैरिटी आती है. एंड देन एट दैट मोमेंट विवेक ख्याति डेवलप्स. The most intuitive knowledge comes from this buddhi when it becomes very clear. When this buddhi becomes very pure and sattvic, that becomes viveka khyati. And at that point it is called mahat. And when it transforms into mahat, it can know anything about universe. The each and every smallest thing about universe. The seed of knowledge comes at that point. When this buddhi turns into viveka khyati, the most sattvic and most purest form. Buddhi in Samkhya is equal to Chitta in Yoga Sutra. When buddhi is rajasic, person always runs behind power. हमने कई लोगों को देखा है कि नाम के पीछे भागते हैं या तो पावर, सत्ता के पीछे भागते हैं. सो ये होता है because of the rajasic buddhi. When buddhi turns into tamas or the tamasic buddhi, then person is inclined to do the things which lead towards adharma. When tamas is dominant in buddhi, the natural flow towards adharma, agyan, lots of rag and lots of aishwarya. So person will do all the actions where you will see the adharma, lots of all the actions are not ethical, unethical things person will do. Then lots of rag means lots of craving or attachment towards the things comes, or aishwarya, lots of I-ness or lots of ego, that lots of power that comes when the buddhi is tamasic. So there are 4 bhavas we have discussed in the previous sutras. That 4 bhavas. The 4 bhavas are dharma, gyan, vairagya, and anaishwarya. So these 4 bhavas, they come when the buddhi is sattvic. Right? When the sattva is dominant in buddhi, all the action they comes with the dharma, vairagya, anaishwarya and gyan. And when buddhi is tamasic, all the opposite bhavas, they are dominant. How beautifully Rishi Patanjali has given all these examples that we will not have any questions why this is, right? It is so clear cut, so easy to understand. Above buddhi is prakriti, that is alinga. Prakriti is manifested one. This is how we move from the gross to subtle. So all the Visheshas, Avisheshas, Linga Matra, Alinga and Linga. Guna Parvani is Purusha Vishesha. Sarva Gun Sampanna, that is Purusha Vishesha Ishvara. So this is how Samkhya talks about 25 tattvas. When the yogi goes above all this, there is equilibrium. Samatvam comes when yogi goes all above this. And when he has realized the discrimination between Purusha and Prakriti, now Prakriti does not attract anymore. And all the gunas, they also come to equilibrium. They are also in equilibrium level. All gunas will come to equal level in the state of Prakriti. And this is when Prakriti is called Pradhan Prakriti. And in these gunas, when one is dominant and others are supporting, there will be evolution in life. When all 3 gunas are in equal levels, there will be no attraction towards Visheshas. Gone above the Visheshas, buddhi also will become sattvic, universal in proportion, and becomes mahat. Prakriti does not attract him anymore, and it becomes viveka khyati. So this is how beautifully Rishi Patanjali has explained how a soul can make this journey beautifully and rise above all the experiences and moving towards liberation. हम इस पूरे तत्वों को जानकर मोक्ष की ओर जा सकते हैं. जैसे ये 2 सूत्र में ही पूरा सार दे दिया है कि मोक्ष के द्वार ही जैसे खोल दिए हैं कि फ्रॉम द ग्रॉस टू सटल. कोई अगर किसी को ज्ञान नहीं भी है, ये खाली ये ज्ञान सुनकर ही अपने आप में ऊपर से ऊपर उठकर मोक्ष तक की जर्नी भी कर सकते हैं. नमस्ते.